And this is lesson 42, which is part of our intermediate 1 course. We have basic 1, basic 2, intermediate 1, intermediate 2. Intermediate 1 goes until lesson 45. So we will be live again. Actually, we'll probably be live this afternoon, either with the audio or with our lesson 43 presentation. So let's go to our presentation of lesson 42. I am Professor Willy, so welcome. We're happy to have you here. You can follow me on Instagram at Prof. Willy Brasil, or you can follow the school. Our physical school account is aces.english. So this is what we're going to talk about today. You came on the right day because we're going to talk about the days of the week. We're going to talk about the difference between start and begin. We're going to talk about I hope. What are the uses of hope that are most common? We're going to talk about the difference between think and hope and wish. We're going to compare after and later and more. There's more. There's even more than that. I mean, this is a really good and full lesson. So we're going to do in our groups, we're going to practice. So let's see the days of the week. I noticed that there are many people, many English learners, especially my students, Portuguese-speaking English learners, that have problems remembering the days of the week. So I developed this little, it's kind of like a game, a little bit of a game to remember the days of the week, ways that we can remember each of the days. So the days of the week are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Something that's interesting is we have days of the week, which are all of the days. We also have weekdays. Weekdays are the days of the work week. They're also called weekdays. So even though they're all considered days of the week, work days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday are the weekend and not weekdays. So just to summarize all that, all 7 days are the days of the week. The weekdays are the work weekdays, which are Monday through Friday, and then the weekend is Saturday and Sunday. So in this little game that I developed, I want you to remember that when we say the days of the week, I consider the days of the week starting on Monday, starting on the first day of the work week. Okay, so if we start the week with Monday, the first day of the work week, that will help with this little game. So let's talk about Monday. Monday is the first day of the work week. So mun rhymes, hema, mun rhymes with one. Mun rhymes with one. So Monday is the first day of the work week. So Monday, one day. Monday, one day. You can remember that Monday is the first day of the week. It's the first day. It's one day. Monday, one day. Tuesday is the second day of the work week. And 2 sounds like 2, right? Sounds like the number 2. So Tuesday is number 2. It's the second day of the work week. So we have Monday, one day. Tuesday is the second day of the work week. Wednesday is pronounced like Wednesday. So it's written, nobody says Wednesday. Nobody pronounces this like it's supposed to be. Well, if it's at least like it's, nobody pronounces this like it's written. At least in American English, I have never in my 25 years of being alive, believe it or not, I have never heard anyone say Wednesday for this day. Everybody says Wednesday. It's pronounced like Wednesday. So what happens? You get to the middle of the week, because Wednesday is in the middle of the work week. You get to the middle of the week and you ask, when are we? When are we? Quando estamos? When are we? It's Wednesday. So when you get lost in the middle of the week, you say, where are we? It's Wednesday. Okay, dia de quando? Wednesday. And because it's pronounced Wednesday and not Wednesday. Thursday is the fourth day. It's named for Thor. So there are the days are so old in English that there are theories that Thursday was named for Thor because in the early days of English, there was a lot of Viking influence because the Vikings took over, especially parts of the north of England, and their language influenced a lot of the language that developed, especially in that region of England. So many people believe that Thursday actually comes from Thor. So only the strong make it to Thor's Day, o dia do Thor. So Thursday, only the strong make it to Thursday, which very probably was named for the Norse god Thor. And then Friday is the last day of the work week. It sounds like fry. So on Good Friday, and who can tell me what Good Friday means? Does anybody know what Good Friday means? Go ahead, open up your microphone and tell me. Anybody?
Fritar peixe, fritar coisas, como tá
No,
lendo.
no, no. Good Friday. What does Good Friday mean?
Good Friday, é um dia religioso? O que que é?
Sexta-feira Santa in English is Good Friday. So, é o bom sexta-feira. So, in English, Sexta-feira Santa is Good Friday. And on Good Friday, many people only eat fish, right? There are many people that only eat fish on Friday. They fry fish on Friday. Fry is fritar. So they fry fish on Friday, o dia de fritar peixe. So Friday, o dia de fritar. Okay, on Good Friday, many people only eat fish and they fry fish on Friday. So that Friday is sexta-feira, is the last day of the work week. Then we have Saturday, and sat is the past of sit. Okay, past is this past is the past? No. Sat is the past of sit. And so if I ask, what did you do last weekend? I sat on my butt. Eu fiquei sentado na minha bunda. Okay, just like this young man who apparently is very lazy and is just sitting down all Saturday, not doing anything. He is sitting on his butt. And if I asked his parents, what did your son do last Saturday? They would say he sat on his butt on Saturday. Then Sunday, sun is like a sunny day, right? So we have the sun. And then it's nice when the sun is out on Sunday, so you can eat a sundae. So Sunday, the ice cream is spelled differently, but it's the same pronunciation as Sunday the day, domingo. Okay? É bom quando o sol está fora, está brilhando, está se mostrando no domingo para você poder comer sundae. So Sunday is the last day of the week. If you start with the work week, if you start with Monday, then Sunday is the last day. And it's also, so Saturday and Sunday are the days of the weekend. Okay, any questions on that? Anybody with any questions of the days of the week? No? Okay, let's continue. So to greet is cumprimentar. To greet. How would you greet someone? Como você ia cumprimentar alguém? So you could say hi. You could say, how's it going? You could say, what's up? Okay, so those are ways to greet people. Jeitos de cumprimentar alguém. Ainda não sei. I don't know yet. Ainda não sei. I don't know yet. So remember, we talked about when we did the correction, no, the audio, when we did the audio, we talked about the difference between I don't know yet and I still don't know. So I don't know yet because we usually use yet in negative sentences, but I can say I still don't know if I expected to know already. If I expected the opposite, I can use still. I still don't know. I'm going crazy. I still don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on yet. It doesn't have, in many situations, the same urgency as I still don't know. So how long are you going to stay? A couple of days, I think. I don't know yet. Quanto tempo você vai ficar? Uns 2 dias, eu acho. Ainda não sei. Mas ainda há tempo. But there's still time. But there's still time. Mas ainda há tempo. There is. So remember, há, tem, existe. There is. There's still time. Of course there's still time. Claro que ainda há tempo. Of course there's still time. It's never too late. Of course there's still time. So then we have kinds of hats. So we have this kind of hat is a hat that I use a lot. A hat, it can be called a hat or a baseball cap or baseball hat. Those are the ones with this part right here is called the bill, B-I-L-L. This is the bill. And the bill of a baseball hat is forward. And you can, nowadays they wear it flat, but when I was in high school, we bent the bill like this, so it's a little bit bent. But now those snapback caps are straight across. They look weird to me because I'm used to the other style. We have other hats here. So this is sometimes when we just say hat for chapéu or bonnet, we can just say hat. But many times when we have chapéu, we use other words in front. For example, this is a cowboy hat. This is a cowboy hat. This is a fedora. Okay, fedora is so famous from the 1930s, 1920s, 1930s that you don't have to say fedora hat. If you say fedora, everybody knows that it's this kind of hat, a fedora. But it can also just be called a hat. Where's my hat? Which one? The cowboy hat, the fedora, or the baseball cap? The baseball cap. Oh, it's over there. Eu acho que sim. So this is a review. We saw before eu acho que sim, which is I think so. We also saw how eu acho que não is not I think not, which is the more formal way that they say it in England. They use more I think not. In American English, we say I don't think so. I don't think so. So remember that don't, North Americans are in love with don't, and don't came into the English language and pretty much is taking control. So I don't think so instead of I think not. When I think of the phrase I think not, I have to think about it in my head in a British accent. I think not, because you see it in like old poetry or in Shakespeare or British series with obviously a British accent. So I always think when I think not, then I think of super formal British accent. I think not. So now when we have eu espero que sim, so we had I think so and I hope so is the same. I hope so. But we had I don't think so, but with espero que não, we have I hope not. With espero que não, we have I hope not. I think that in 100 years, in 3 generations, 4 generations, I think we will say I don't hope so, like we say I don't think so. Because first we said I think not, and then we said I don't think so. I think that we are going to say in the future, a long time in the future, we're going to say I don't hope so. But for now, for today, we say, I hope not. I hope not. So it's a little bit different. I think so. I hope so. I don't think so. I hope not. And if you say, I don't hope so, it sounds strange. If you say, I don't hope so. So then the second part of this is that we have espero, which in Portuguese, we have 2 different meanings. We have esperar de esperança, which is hope, and we have esperar de ficar esperando, which is to wait. So it's not always the same thing. Some of my students, I'm not going to name any names, but some of my students complain about how, oh, English is easy because one word has many meanings. But look here, we have esperar, which is hope when it's esperança, and it's wait when it's ficar esperando. So I hope so, eu espero que sim. I'm waiting for you, estou te esperando. So, eu espero que sim, I hope so, eu estou esperando, I'm waiting. Eu espero que sim, I hope so, eu estou esperando, I'm waiting. Now, let's talk about the difference. Let's talk about the difference between start and begin. They are almost the same, except that begin is more formal than start in most situations, but start is also a noun. So you can go back to the start. Voltar para o começo. Start is a noun. Begin is not a noun. Beginning is a noun. So you can say go back to the start, or you can say go back to the beginning, but you cannot say go back to the begin without ing, because begin is only a verb, but start is a verb and a noun. So when does the movie start? Quando que começa o filme? When does the movie begin? It just sounds more formal. So start is much more used, is used much more frequently than begin. For example, here we have the Enem. In the United States, we have the SAT test and the ACT test. But at the beginning of the test, they say, you may begin, because it's a formal situation. So whenever there's a big test or some kind of competition, there's a possibility of them saying you may begin, because begin then is the more formal form of start. After or later. So depois is not the same as mais tarde. Depois is not the same as mais tarde. This is very important, because in Portuguese, we can say, eu vou fazer isso depois, or eu vou fazer isso mais tarde. Até depois é mais usado do que mais tarde, in my experience, in speaking with Portuguese speakers. But if I say, I'll eat after, it depends. After what? After what? Em inglês, nós temos que ter depois de quê. Pode ser subentendido. So, eu estou aqui dando aula para vocês, alguém entra e fala, tem comida aqui. Aí eu falo, no, I'll eat after. É subentendido que eu estou falando da aula. Mas se não for subentendido ou falado, não tem como usar só after como depois, como pode em português. Vou fazer isso depois. Se não for óbvio, é after what? What are you doing? Tem que ser óbvio ou tem que falar na frase o que é. So in that case, we would say, I'll eat later, not now, later. Eu vou comer mais tarde, quando não tiver alguma coisa óbvia que eu estou fazendo, que pode ser depois dessa coisa. Agora não, mais tarde. Not now, later. So we use later. I would say we use later a lot more than Brazilian Portuguese speakers use mais tarde, because in my experience, most Brazilian Portuguese speakers use depois. Eu vou fazer isso depois. Vamos lá depois. Depois de quê? Às vezes não é óbvio. Quando não for óbvio, tem que ser later em inglês. I'll eat after the class. So, no meu exemplo, alguém entra e fala, tem comida. Eu falo, I'll eat after, é subentendido que é depois da aula. Mas se não tiver essa possibilidade de ser subentendido, eu tenho que falar after the class. I'll eat after the class. I'll eat after work. I'll eat after After this song, depois dessa música que eu estou escutando. Depois você está lendo, alguém fala, it's time for dinner. I'll eat after I read this chapter. Depois que eu leia esse capítulo. So daí temos a coisa que está acontecendo que depois o qual você vai fazer aquilo. To watch is assistir. Do you want to watch a movie? Quer assistir um filme? What are you watching? O que você está assistindo? Big Brother's watching you. So Big Brother, se lembra daquele filme, mas foi o primeiro livro, nós chamamos de um clássico moderno, que foi sobre o governo cuidando dos little brothers, dos irmãozinhos, que somos nós. E Big Brother, que é o irmão mais velho que cuida de nós. So Big Brothers, a frase Big Brothers watching, Big Brothers always watching, está sempre vigiando. So watch pode ser assistir ou vigiar. I'm going to watch my little brother. Eu vou cuidar ou vigiar do meu irmãozinho. Se for literalmente irmãozinho e não o governo, né? O governo e Big Brother, Little Brother. Other expressions with to watch. Watch out. Cuidado, watch out. So, watch, de vigiar, fica vigiando, ou vigia, ou olhe. Watch your tongue, cuidado com a sua língua, ou seja, cuidado com o que você fala. Watch your tongue. He is watching over me, pode ser usado para um pai, uma mãe, Deus. He is watching over me, ele está cuidando de mim. Watch out, watch your tongue. He is watching over me. Let's, já usamos, até a primeira lição, nós já vimos let's review, vamos revisar, let's practice, let's listen, vamos escutar, mas esse let's é uma coisa que expressa um convite ou proposta. Convite ou proposta. Você está sugerindo uma ideia. Let's watch a movie. Eu estou colocando a ideia no ar. Let's take a trip. Vamos viajar. Mas não é, a primeira frase não é um filme que já planejávamos assistir. A segunda frase não é uma viagem que já planejávamos fazer. Eu estou colocando essa ideia pela primeira vez. Então, não dá para usar let's numa frase como we're going to take a trip next month. Ou seja, essa viagem do mês que vem já é planejada. Quando já for planejada, não dá para usar let's, porque não é sugestão. O grande erro que alunos fazem com let's é pensar que é simplesmente vamos e tentar usar em todas as situações onde pode usar vamos. Como aqui. We're going to take a trip next month. Eu não posso falar let's take a trip next month se for uma viagem já planejada. Simplesmente. Porque é uma situação onde eu estou colocando a ideia. Question? Go ahead, Glass.
Yes, eu confundi ali as mãozinhas. Professor, eu sempre pensava nesse let's, quando eu saía do carro com meus filhos, eu falava let's go, mas está errado então, porque se você for pensar
Não
nesse
está
caso, não
errado.
é um convite, eu estou mandando eles
Nós
saírem.
falamos sobre isso em uma outra aula. Acho
Mas
que
eu
até nos
já
gravamos.
esqueci,
Mas
então.
a coisa é, não é só convite, é sugestão. Quando você fala let's go, você está sugerindo para eles vierem.
Mas vai soar grosseiro se eu falar
Não
just
vai.
get out?
Depende da situação.
Nossa, se eu
Depende da
falar bem com
situação.
uma voz boa, get out. Get out
Exatamente.
the
Não,
car.
get out é outra coisa. Get out é saia, não é let's.
Não, mas na situação de sair do carro, saiam do carro, porque eles ficam se milhando para sair do carro, vamos supor. Então, você pode falar,
Yeah,
get
so
out.
com let's não sairia grosseiro. Falar let's get out of the car, or let's
Tá,
go.
com let's, tá.
Mas se você falar só get out of the car, get out é geralmente
Grosseiro.
usado em grosseria.
Tá, e como você falaria nessa situação?
Let's go.
Usaria sempre let's?
Let's go. I would say let's
Ah,
go.
ok.
Let's sozinho,
Ok.
se lembra também que let's age como um verbo auxiliar. O único tempo que você pode usar let's sozinho é se alguém sugerir alguma coisa. Let's eat buchada today. Daí você fala let's. Só na resposta. E se você gostar de buchada, que não são muitos.
Podia ser outro
Não,
exemplo
não é todo mundo.
também.
Não, mas é Tocantins, né? Você sempre fala mal do norte, daí nós temos buchada
Nossa,
aqui.
então eles
E
gostam muito
tem
de
buchada
buchada.
boa aqui. Eu já comi buchada boa aqui, só para deixar claro. Ok, so, let's age, eu chamo de verbo estranho, a weird verb. Marlene, did you have a question?
Yes, yes. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question. He is watching over me. Is the same in looking after me?
Yes. To look
Yeah.
after is another phrasal verb that is a synonym to watch over or even watch after. Watch after is another phrasal verb that's less common, but also means cuidar.
Okay.
Yep. Those are phrasal verbs that are synonyms. Very good. So I call let's is in a group of verbs that I call weird verbs because they act as though they are strong verbs, but they're not really. Like let's go instead of let's to go. So we don't use to with let's, even though if we were to say we are going to take, right? We are going to take. So then after we are going, we use to. We are going to take a trip. If I say let's take, I take out the to. It's just, it's a quirky thing. It's something different that let's does. So it's one of the verbs that I call a weird verb because it acts kind of differently and because it's only used in suggestions and not every time that we want to say vamos in Portuguese. And that's all, folks. So that was lesson 42. Thank you for being here, everybody that watched us here on YouTube. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 5-minute break while I answer any questions on the YouTube stream. So if you need to go to the bathroom real fast, get a drink of water, and then we will start our practice right now. And so go ahead. So let me go real fast for the people that are here. Oops, I need to go to the other screen to see our YouTube screen and see if anybody has any questions on the YouTube stream. So we have some people here. Good evening, sir. I'm from India. I'm new here. Good morning. Honi from Goiânia, near Tocantins. I'd like to know if by any chance you teach privately. I do teach privately. You can get in contact with me on Instagram. I have a good understanding of English and also good reading skills, but when it comes to speaking, I definitely need help. So feel free, Rony, Prof. Willy Brasil on Instagram. Prof. Willy Brasil on Instagram. Maria B is back. Hi, Maria. Good to see you. Okay, those were our comments for today's lesson. So if you're here watching us on Instagram, make sure on YouTube, take this chance to give us a like, follow us, and you will see beside me, you will see a couple of videos that YouTube thinks you'll like. Make sure you check those out, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Until next time, I'm Teacher Willie. Keep studying and don't give up.